Hello, and welcome. There we go. Today we're going to be doing something new. We're going to be writing an interpreter for the basic language. I want to say it's a language from the 80s? Oh shit, significantly older. From the 60s. That is like a just an interpreted language to run on older computers, I guess. I don't know how to describe it any better than that. I'm going to be so I for clarity, I don't have any experience using BASIC at all. I've never written an application or a program of any kind in BASIC, so part of this will also be learning BASIC. Those are lines. That's interesting. So yeah, we're also going to be learning BASIC. I have this web or this like JavaScript implementation of it, but I literally right before the stream I looked up this, and it seems that there is also a local interpreter. Actually, let's make their basic what is this thing called? Interpreter. Wow, interpreter. There we go. And I don't know what the file extension. Let's see. Actually, can we open that Wikipedia page back up? Do you have any sort of extension? I mean, it doesn't really make sense for BASIC to have a file extension. That's just not how BASIC works. But yeah, this is so the problem with a language or a name like BASIC is that it is so hard to look up. Yeah, this is just wrong. .bas. Let's try that. In vim foo.bas. Ooh, okay. So it seems Vim has syntax highlighting for that. Oh, that's really weird. The highlighting that I have for my line numbers also comes over to that. That's kind of weird to look at. Okay. But it works. Okay, and then if I say bw basic on foo.bas, then it just kind of works. And I think it also comes with the like interpreter or not. Is this or not like a? It is a REPL. I think that this is the same kind of thing that you would have in like an Apple II computer itself. But yeah, so those are things. We may need to come back to this. I'm not entirely sure how well implemented the BW basic is. What was it called? Bywater basic. Where's the source? Is it not open source? That's a little bit unfortunate. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, maybe it's. I mean, this is programming language is C, so I would expect that the source is open. I don't really know how to use SourceForge though, so it's not impossible. What if I just look up BW basic? Oh, is this just it? Okay, I guess it is. Oh, is it written in? Oh no, that must be just like tests and stuff. Obviously, it couldn't be written in BASIC. It's a BASIC interpreter. Okay. This site also has a basic quick reference. I think, or I just kind of assume that a lot of this applies. Things like inverse and flash, I suspect won't work. Like the more graphical things probably won't work. But we're also just not going to be implementing those, or at least not for a while, because that requires actual graphic stuff, and I don't want to add support for that for a while. So we're going to have to, I mean, we have some basic things to get out of the way first. But most importantly, we need a basic understanding of BASIC. So let's try implementing something in it. You can go away. Wait, so, okay, so as far as I'm aware, BASIC is case insensitive, so I can do like that, and if we run it, then everything just continues to work. But yeah, so let's implement, I guess, the Fibonacci sequence. Sounds like a good place to start. So I think that the convention is to use all uppercase, so I guess let's do that. 10 print hello world. Great. So I think to define a variable, use let. It's in brackets. I'm not sure what that means. Generally, that would mean optional, but that seems weird to be optional. Let's try defining without it, I guess. So you always have to specify the line number. And we say A is 5. And then if we say on line 20, print A, what do we get? Okay, so it prints 5. There's a space in front of it. Is this like a Fortran thing where they try to format the numbers or something? Also, okay, so I guess you can't. This space is required. That's interesting. Can you put a space in front? It seems like you can. Or syntax makes it seem like you can. Yeah, this 5 in front of it's a little bit weird. What if I make this a -5? Yeah, okay, then it puts the minus sign in front of it. I think I read under print, if you put semicolons, you can concatenate. So we can say, hello, that. Okay, hello -5. Does it put that space if you just put a 5? It does. So there are 2 spaces there. That's interesting. What is a comma? Oh, it goes to the next tab stop. And then trailing suppresses the line break. So if I were to do this, we run it. Yeah, you see this little symbol here is how Fish says that. I can turn it. Yeah. No, that. Yeah. That's how Fish says that there is no carriage return or no new line at the end of the printed, at the end of the program output. There we go. That's interesting because like I don't want 2 spaces there. Is there a nicer way to do that? Also, what does get var mean? What happens if I just say get a illegal function call? That's interesting. Okay. What if I say print get a? That doesn't highlight that anymore, so I don't think I can do that. Yeah, I don't know what that does. I guess we'll figure that out at some point. This is read a single key, which is just, that has no meaning, which is unfortunate. Read line of comma delimited input with optional prompt. So if I say input is, or A is input, and I say print hello A, can I say input name? Syntax error. Great. Oh, it says var there. So you say input 5, I guess. Input a name. Like that. I guess, no, variable not declared. Oh. Do I have to say like let, oh, I guess 5, let a? Is this? Type mismatch. What do you input? Wait. Read a line of comma delimited input with optional prompt. I know I said we were going to start with the Fibonacci sequence, but I got distracted. Let's see. Basic input. Input this is the prompt. Wait, that's a comma, but that's a semicolon. Oh, this is printing. So this is a comma. I'm very confused because this has a semicolon right there. And then comma var. Oh, well, actually, this should be like that. Can I do a leading 0 there? I can. Cool. Let A is 5. Oh, I'm being stupid. Like that. So it's a number. Can I input a string? I don't think so. Is there some other input or read? Oh, maybe that's what get does, actually. Get A. Type mismatch. Oh. Wait, can you not have a variable be a string? So dim is for arrays. If I make it 5 characters, is that what that syntax is? No, it goes after. And then I guess we don't put the value. Illegal function call. This is so weird. Let's see. Do you have... Oh, wait. What is this $? I guess maybe that creates the variable. Input name. John. Hello, John. Okay. So do variables in BASIC, like, is their type defined by the suffix? Do we have a more introductory thing? Your first program. Ooh, there's a thing called learn X in Y. Yeah, do we have one for basic? Basic. Small basic, visual basic. Does small basic is the same thing? It's not too dissimilar, but it's not the same. Okay, input. Yeah, oh well, this one is free basic. Cause we tried this. What does X equals here mean? Maybe that's just free basic equivalent for the semicolon there. Bunch of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So they don't explicitly say it, but a $sign here is a string and a %sign is a number. I would assume that this % is optional because, like, by default it seems like it's a number. So can I say let hello is hello world, and then can I say print hello? Yeah, so that one works. Okay, so it's a bit like Fortran in the sense that, or I guess older Fortran, in the sense that variable names can influence the type of the variable itself. Not even influence, they determine the type. I am thinking of Fortran when I say that, I think. Like where you have to put, or older Fortran, because now you can explicitly state it or whatever. I say now, it's probably been since like the 80s or something, but I think it was Fortran 90 that allowed you to start doing that. But yeah, okay. Now let's see what I said we're gonna do. So 10, we're gonna say let a is 0, and then I think you can just put a colon. Let's go to let. It doesn't say it here, but I think a colon in general is a line termination. There are some examples in here. Let's do this guy. Yeah, so this colon, I think here is like to separate statements. That's what it is. It's like a semicolon in other languages. And then we can say B is 1. And then we can say... So as far as I'm aware, there are no loops in BASIC. Like if we look at the control flow section up here, flow control, sorry, my bad. We've got goto, which is pretty much the only way to jump as far as I'm aware. Oh, well, okay, I guess a lot of this stuff is jumping. This is the only way to do like loops specifically. And then you would just do like an if statement. So it's a bit like assembly in that sense. But yeah, so we can say if A is greater than 1000. I think it's then. Yeah, then. And then there's stop. No, end. And that will exit the program. And then if we go to 30, can I like, no, I have to do that. I wonder if there's a basic extension that I could get for Vim that would handle this. But I don't think I really care. Yeah. Oh, there is 4. But that loops with a counter variable. Which this seems more like a Rust 4 X in range or Python 4 in range. Okay. Here, because what we really need here is a while loop, which is apparently not a thing. Or seemingly not a thing. Yeah. But, okay. So now here we're going to say let, like, the temporary variable, or no, we'll print A. And then we'll say let T is A plus B. And then we'll say B is, no, A is B. And B is T. And then we'll say go to 20. And then run it. Is that Fibonacci? 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144. Yeah, all of this looks correct. So we just got Fibonacci. Woohoo. That's gross. Go away. Okay. That was actually surprisingly simple. Maybe that's why it's called basic. If we wanted to go much higher, I don't know what the size of integers are in basic. What happens if we just let it run? So we eventually get to like a scientific notation. What is this? Do you know? It's not even a big number. I mean, I guess, yeah, obviously it's only +6. Basic integer. Integer basic is a basic interpreter. No, thank you. This is not related to basic at all. See, this is why we need languages that have good, easy to look up names. Basic lang? I don't. Applesoft. Did I put that in the title? No. Okay, good. Because I'm not gonna be super true to the Applesoft. That you don't see that. Let me kill Dunce because I forgot to do that. Great. Why does none of this? Maybe I should look up integer size. Applesoft basic. Do. Okay, welcome. I want just single precision floating values. Okay. Atomic strings. I don't care about any of this. Give me the integers. Unless there are no integers. Is it floats? Single precision floating point variables with an 8-bit exponent and a 31-bit significand and improved math capabilities. Oh yeah. No, we're writing an interpreter for basic. Like the language. But first we are learning basic because I don't know it. Why does it not? Unless basic literally does not have integers. Which I could see being the case. You know, JavaScript is corrupting the mind of people in the 60s. We have an overflow, I guess. I assume that's what overflow means. But it also says E plus 308, which is a very, very big number. That's not gonna work. Apparently it is. Can I do a big int of a string like that? No, I cannot. But yeah, okay, I would assume because Dino is okay with it, that Dino is a JavaScript interpreter / TypeScript. Runtime is probably a better option or better wording. But since it's okay with it, I'm gonna assume that this is just like a valid double. Maybe a float. Let's try this. Because Rust supports scientific notation. So if I did this, this will work. But can I do F32 from this? It's out of range for F32. So yeah, it's an F64 or a double in C. Rewrite Dino in BASIC. Yeah, I think that would require me to learn a lot more BASIC than I currently know. I have a very basic understanding. Okay, let's start writing the interpreter. Actually, you know what? Let's, instead of doing this, let's make a source. And then let's say source main C. And then this will have the int main. And we need to start off by lexing. So, but before we do that, let's make a hello world. Include print, not print. What? This is the wrong language. Standard IO. Print F. Wow. Oh my god. My Rust is being very rusty today. Hello world. Return 0. And then let's make file this. Main source main.c. Wildcard source star C. I don't know how to use makefile. Why is makefile such a gross thing? Main. Is it $ this to get these arguments? I can never remember. Okay, let's say C flag. We'll try it. So C flags is. What do we need? I don't think we really need anything yet. And then libs is going to be also empty. I want to do this without any libraries or anything outside of standard library. But we'll end up needing to like link math and stuff. CE flags. Let's do W all, just to get as many warnings as possible. And ooh, oh yeah, I recently changed some of my NeoVim stuff, so now it does a bunch of weird highlighting. I don't super care for it, but I don't care enough to try to remove it. What happened to my makefile? Did I put it in here? Oh, I did. That's not supposed to go in there. Okay, make. It worked. It actually made it. Cool. Hello world. Let's make a get ignore, and let's put a main. And I don't care to make, or I don't. I guess we can also get init. Yeah. And we don't need to put. Wait, main. Oh, I also put that in source. Okay. Get ignore. Wait, what am I doing? Get ignore to here. Yeah. Okay. Why is the get ignore not working? Oh, because it's not a directory. What am I doing? There we go. I know how to program. I swear. Great. Now, let's write a lexer. So let's be really good about this and include lexer.h and create a lexer.h and a lexer.c. Great. And in the header, we're going to have a pub. Nope. What the hell? This is not Rust. We're going to have a typedef struct, and it's going to be a token. And a token is going to hold, what is it going to hold? It's going to hold a pointer to the start of the token. It's going to hold a kind, not that. It's going to hold a token kind, still not that, which is the kind of token. And we're going to define that up here. So type def enum token kind, like that. Do we need anything else in the token? I don't think so. I think eventually we're going to want to hold on to, let's do a start and a length, size t, length. And this will be useful for highlighting, I think. No, you know what? Instead of doing this, I want to hold on to the... Is there a reason to hold on to the start? I don't know that there's a benefit, so we're not actually going to do that. We're going to say size t line, and... What's the other thing? Size t offset, which will be the position from... Or column is probably a better term. And then here, what kind of tokens are we going to have? Let's open our example again. Our foo.bas, base, BAS. How about that? Yeah, so this lexing is a little bit weird because we need to also take into account like the individual lines. Because this is not the same as this. So, also, these line numbers are just... Oh, because I removed the... Yeah, this guy. We're going to keep that. So, how are we going to lex this? I think I want to, as we're lexing, keep track of the line number and all of the tokens that belong to that line. And so... Let's go ahead and define our lex, or like our main lex function, which is going to say, it's going to return something, probably like a boolean from standard bool, std bool, and we're going to call this like lex next, I guess, and what's it going to take? It's going to take a file, which will handle all of our, it's going to handle all of our, like, reader-ish operations, to borrow the Rust terminology, like keeping track of where we are in the file, so we don't have to, like, load it all into memory and then keep an offset or anything like that. We're just going to read directly from the file. And then we need to have the output. Or, how are we going to have the output? Why can't you gamble on my stream? Can you gamble on other Twitch streams? What kind of gambling does Twitch offer? What if instead of doing this, we return an S size T? I feel like instead of doing each token, we could yield a... Oh, channel points? I thought I had those enabled. I don't know what kind of features they have set up to be. Let me look at that really quickly. If I can find it. No, that's analytics. Yeah, I don't know what the whole... I really don't like the whole Twitch dashboard. It's kind of a mess. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just save up your channel points. Are you receiving channel points? Okay, so we're gonna return the line number. No, you know what? I don't like this. We're gonna return a pointer to tokens. And then we're going to also... No. We're going to change that again. Sorry, it's very confusing. We're going to type def struct token line. we're going to have tokens in here, which is going to be a items, and we're going to have a size, and we're going to have a capacity. This is not that. You have 1.6K? Well, if you don't want to brag, I guess I'll brag. I have infinity, so try to beat that. Okay, so we'll do a size T here, and we'll do a size T here for capacity, and then also we'll have a size T for line. Okay, and then what we'll do here is we'll return a Boolean, which is just going to be true or false as to whether we succeeded to parse this line, or not even parse, if we succeeded to lex this line. And then we're going to return a token line by pointer. And what this will do is we can push in tokens here, so we can have effectively a vector of tokens. And then on line, we can put the line number. So like here, we expect a 10, then we're going to read tokens until we hit the new line. And then we're going to return this line. That seems like it'll work. Maybe, hopefully. So now let's do an include guard. If ndef include, or no, wait, this is not the standard. It's what, lexer h. Then we're gonna end if this guy, and we'll define that. Great. Use a header guard here, followed by defined from a different macro. That is true. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. What is this? Clang ls or something like that? Okay. What is that? Bothers me. Clang D. Great. Yeah, cool. So now we need to implement this function, which is gonna be this guy. Include what did we just call it? Lexer.h. Use of empty enum. Oh, yeah, this needs to be populated a little bit. Let's look at the various tokens we have. Just kind of want to go through this list. I'm not going to add all of them because some of them will be complicated. Or not necessarily complicated, but there's just a lot here. So let's just grab some of the more simple ones. So clear. It's going to be a TK because we're in C and enums are global for some god-awful reason. Let an equal. This is an equal sign. This is let. This is clear. Dim. And I'm gonna treat these all as tokens because they're a little bit special. They can't just be functions. So we're gonna basically treat all of these as tokens, and then I think there's subroutines, which will give us that sort of function aspect, and those will be proper functions. Or more accurately, they'll probably end up just being like variables with line numbers or something, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So we have equal. We need parentheses, I think. I don't think that's a notation thing. I think that is like a literal parenthesis. So we'll say dim is dim. This is gonna be L parent. This is gonna be R parent. That does not work. I thought you could do that. This is a plugin that I have that's supposed to auto align, but it does not seem to like to do that. That's fine. We'll do it manually. Okay. We've got that. I think this means it's optional. I don't think that's a notation thing, but we do have comma. What else do we have? We've got def. Which is all capital. We've got FN, which is that. This is the relatively boring part of creating Elixir. It's just enumerating all of the tokens. Go to Goot. Go to. Go to. And we are going to make sure that all of this is case insensitive. You know what? Instead of rest of tokens, instead of doing that, let's just grab the tokens that are in here, just the ones that we specifically need. So then we need an ident. Oh, and then actually on that note, we need a token value, which is set if we have some sort of value for this token, as the name might imply. So things like clear won't, because all of the information about the token is just the kind. But things like, I guess identifiers are our first one, will need to have some sort of additional information, so that we know what the identifier is. And if we were in Rust, we would do something like an enum that has attached information using the algebraic enums. But in C, we have to just do another variable in there, and we'll do a union, which will allow us to put a couple of different data types in here, and then those can all be in this place of the value. So we're gonna need a char star for ident. Well, you can even do a const char star. I don't think we'll need to modify that at all. Okay, so we've got that. We're not looking at this. We're looking at this. We need a colon. We need, we got equal sign. We need number. Or let's say numlit. And this will be, so we know numbers are like float, so I guess we'll just say that this is a double. And this will be a number, maybe a numlit. No, let's call this a number. Do we have, so we've got uint32. Do we have like a float 32 or something? F. No, okay, we'll keep it as double. I don't like double because it doesn't actually tell you what the precision is. And I think it's also like platform dependent, which is really annoying. That's why I very rarely use, I mean, obviously size T here is platform dependent. It's just the size of a pointer. But like, I don't really like to use just the int or long int or long. I think those are all the combinations you can do there. Data types or char or short or any of that, because they're not actually platform independent, which is just kind of awful. Anyways, rant over. We've got number literal. We need then, or actually we need greater than. So TK greater than. Let's just call this GT. Too lazy to have to type that out every time. We need. Whoa, what is this? No, not you. Go away. This guy. No, still not that guy. I lost it. Why did I write that file? How did I write that file? Okay. Back to this guy. We've got that. We need then. We need end, which is this guy. We need print. We need plus. There are a lot of little symbols, and goto. We already grabbed goto, didn't we? Okay. Great. So we got the fundamentals in. Now we can actually do the parsing. So this is going to be, let's call this Lex next line to be super specific. Returns true if successful. Successful. Return true if successful. Sure. And then if we go to lexer.c, now this is next line. And for now, let's return false. In the main, in here, we're going to accept the file, which is going to be, we need to take in the arguments. So int argc char star argv. I did just say I don't like to use int, but you kind of have to here because it does need to be platform dependent. Sort of, I guess the official signature requires an int. I don't even think you can do uint32. No, why is it trying to include the C library? Or the C++ library? Yeah, see, it must be a type int. Okay. Now, let's say if argc is not equal to 2, then we're going to fprintf to standard error, and we're just going to say the usage. So usage is $s file.baz. And $s here is going to be argv at 0. And argv is all, can I do a const char here? Argv is always set, or argv0 is always set. Well, yes, our argv0 is always set, but it could be set to null, but that's okay. It generally won't be. Sorry. Yeah, so now, and then we can say exit, or I guess we can just return 1 here. So now we know argv1 is the file name. And we can say if, or wait, does fopen returns the file? So we can say file, input is this guy. And it's going to take in the file name, and we're going to read this as binary. And that I think actually doesn't even matter, but it's fine. So if not input, we're going to say printf, fprintf return 1. To standard error, unable to read input file this for this reason, file name, and f error input. Format specifier, but has type int. Oh, is this not how you? What is the file error? Also, wait, no, f is going to be null here always. Is there a way to get the error man fopen? Return value. Otherwise, null is returned in error no is set. Okay, that's fine. So that's M. I think we'll print the error no message. And yeah, okay. This is not used directly. That's fine. Who cares? Make and main. Undefined reference to main. Cool. Why? Oh, wait. What's the command it's running? Oh, it's not even running the C file? Why is it not? What the hell? Make file. This wildcard feels maybe slightly wrong. Maybe. Potentially. No, this is wrong. It's, is this at? Make. No. Is this... Make variables. This. is the target member name when target is an archive member. The first names of all prerequisites. Yeah, make syntax is kind of garbage. There we go. Okay, so usage is that. We forgot the new line. So go back to main. There should be a new line here. And there should also be one here. Make main. Great. And then if we pass in a file that doesn't exist, we get unable to read input file foo. And then if we pass in foo.bas, then it just does nothing. Cool. Okay. Great. So now we can say lex next line, pass in file, which is input. Ooh, this, actually I'm realizing, yeah, this being a Boolean is a little bit weird. We kind of need 3 different states. So we need successful, we need error, so that's what we have as true or false right now. But we also need like a done state. So we need some way to be like, hey, there's no more input left. What is the best way to do that? I mean, we can just do like a size t and have it be that 1 is successful, success, 0 is done, and then -1 is fail. The alternative, one of the alternatives is to make some sort of like completion or error or something happen as an argument and have it be like a, what's the term? Like an out parameter, I think is what it's called. Effectively what this guy is. I'm not sure which one is better. I think this is the best way because these are all exclusive cases. So we'll just do this. So if it's less than 0, then it's failure. If it's more than 1, then it's success. And then otherwise, we're just done. There's no more lines. Yeah, that seems like it'll work. So we can say size t done is this. And then here, this is just going to be out by reference, and out is a token line that's just empty. Out. And that. And then I'm going to grab something from a project that I have done before, because I'm too lazy to write it again. These. This is just a thing that will print some sort of text, kind of similar to the Rust debug macro. It'll print that text along with the file and line number. Panic we will probably just not use, so I can get rid of that one. Yeah, and then this one also requires us to define buff size to be like, it doesn't even need to be terribly big, it's gonna be 32. This one is a macro to append to a dynamic array. It comes from Knob, which is a project done by a Twitch streamer / YouTube person called Soding. I think I actually have them linked somewhere, but here is that. Technically it's just a small portion of this tool that I stole a long time ago. Actually probably before it became this. But it is a super useful little macro that'll allow us to have a dynamic array in C without having to write a bunch of functions. So we have this. Okay, so this guy actually we don't want to define in here. This is going to be defined in here because this is where we'll need it. Conflicting type for, oh, right, because this is now an S size T. Cool. Now we're going to do the lexing. So let me grab this guy just so I can see all of the tokens and stuff that we need. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to say F peak, no, what is it? F get, oh, let me include standard IO, which will give me the file operations. I'm actually really surprised that this didn't fail. No, it wouldn't have because Lexer includes that, but that's fine. F get C, we'll just get the next character of the input stream. So we can say input, no, I called it file. Let's call it input because that's a little bit nicer. Input. Okay, so we get the next character. And this gives us an int. And then if C is EOF, then we need to error. And what I'm going to do for an error is we're just going to say return -1. Return -1. And we're going to just print the error here. To standard error, we're going to say unexpected EOF. And like we can do better errors in the future, but right now this is good enough. Okay, so if we're at the end of the file, then we're going to do nothing. And then if we're not at the end of the file, then we can continue. So we're going to say switch on C, which will allow us to match on the character. If we get an equal sign, then we're going to do something. What the hell is that? I don't think BASIC has like a double equal sign syntax, but I could be wrong. Numeric functions, string functions. Oh yeah, numeric functions. Do you have something for like equality? Equality. Okay, so it's just an equal sign for equality. So that makes equal signs easy. That is not what I meant to do. That guy. So equal signs, if we get an equal, then we're just going to yield that token. And the way that we're going to do tokens, actually, I kind of forgot that we were doing line number first. So we're going to first say get the character. This is going to have to happen in a loop, right? So we're going to say while, for now we're just going to say while true. We're probably going to have to, we'll probably end up updating that condition in a bit. But so we're going to say get the character. If it's an end of file, then we're going to say it's an unexpected EOF. If C is a space, then we're going to break, right? So we've exhausted all of our characters. Let's pull up the example here. So we're at this character right now. So we've read a 1. If C is not, there's what is ASCII digit or is digit. Isn't there a function for like digit? That's fine. Let's just quickly define that. So bool is digit, takes in a char, and it returns C is greater than or equal to 0. Or I guess we can do 0 is less than or equal to C, and C is less than or equal to 9. Not 9. There we go. So is digit on C. So if we have read a digit, then we're going to do something with it. We don't need to really collect this into a string. I think it's okay to just put it into, like, directly into a number. I don't see why we couldn't do that. So let's say size t line number is 0. And we'll say line number times equals 10, and line number plus equals c minus 0. And yeah, obviously this is undefined at the moment. Let's grab this debug macro. Put this in here. Maybe we end up putting this into like a utility header file or something, but for now this is fine. We're gonna debug line number. Format string. Oh yeah, you have to do this. This. Because unfortunately C does not really allow you to do automatic string formatting. You have to do everything very explicitly, which is, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. Yeah, so let's try this. Unused variable done, that's fine, but line number 10, that is exactly what we were hoping for. If I were to change this to like 15, we get line number 15. Okay, so we got the first, we got the line number parsed, which is good. Now, I guess now let's parse our first token. So, let's come back here. We're gonna do. Let's do this. So, the one of the annoying aspects of C is that we don't have good error handling. So I can't create a function that will like automatically do all of this. But I could create a macro. Pop char. And I'm gonna give it parentheses, even though it's not gonna. Actually, it can take the input, just to make it a little bit nicer. But it's gonna basically do this. And I think that's all it's gonna do. Well, we need our while 0. Like this. I don't like you. Please be nicer. It's like I mean, this is the stupidest thing. It's just formatting of macros, but macros are ugly, so they need to be at least a little bit nicer. Mildly formatted. Like this. Okay. And then we can easy align. No, we can easy align on backslash. Okay, so it worked there. Great. Okay. And this should do what we want. No, fuck, it's not going to. Is there even a way to do this? I kind of forgot that you can't do a return value with a macro in C. I don't even know if there is a way to do this. I mean, we can just define the name of the variable. Will that work? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So now the thing is you say int C, and then you can say pop char from input into C. Which is it's a little bit weird, but that's C, I guess. It's kind of unavoidable. Okay. So now while true again, I think is fine. We're going to pop char input C. If C is a new line, then we're going to break. And so that'll handle, hey, let's read until the end of this string. If C is space, then we're going to continue. We're just going to skip all white space. This is what standard, or it's from C type. Okay. Yeah. So now we are skipping all this white space. So if I were to just debug C here, C is %C, and then the new line here isn't actually necessary, then we should get on the L. Undefined reference to that again. What? Did I not fix this? Okay, that was weird because I definitely did fix that. So we get let a equals that, but we do have our spaces skipped. Okay. So if we get an equal sign, then we're going to say DA append. We need to say, oh, we already have the token line. So let's say token line dot, no, sorry, out dot, or not dot, but arrow, size is 0, out, line is line number, because we have that now. So that'll just clear it. We just want to set the size to 0, not like the capacity or anything, because this will allow us to reuse the previously allocated memory. So we don't have to keep reallocating every time. But now we're going to append a token, or sorry, we're going to append to out, and we're going to append token. You have to do this. Call to we need to include assert.h. Great. And we need to include the standard library. And count is missing. Oh, it's not size, it's count. That's fine. We can pretty easily fix that. This is called, this guy is called count. Great. Count is 0. I thought I had fixed this like error highlighting that Vim is doing on these brackets is actually just incorrect. And I thought I had fixed that, but I guess it is broken again. So that's cool, but that's fine. So token contains a line, which we honestly, let's not keep track of token location just yet. We can come back and add this in the future, but right now I don't want to deal with it. So we're going to just have kind is token kind equal. And then we don't even need to set value. It'll just default to 0. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have? So we have identifier. That's going to have to happen under default. Because we don't have like pattern matching. So if A is less than or equal to C, and C is less than or equal to Z, or A is less than or equal to C, and C is less than or equal to Z. Right, because tokens or identifiers specifically can contain any upper or lowercase characters. Okay. Yeah, now I want to create a function called takeIdent, which will take it from input and yeah. So if takeIdent, or okay, so what takeIdent is going to return, I guess a string, const char string, or ident, and then if not ident, meaning it's null, or I guess we can even go super fancy and say null. Then we're going to return -1, and we'll just kind of assume that takeIdent will handle the errors. Maybe we can consider adding Unicode in the future, but C does not have great Unicode support, or UTF-8 really support, so I don't want to deal with that yet. But maybe in the future. I think there's like libraries to help with that, but it's a pain in the ass. Great. So in here we're gonna say const char star ident, or takeIdent is what we called it, And this is going to take the file input, and we're going to say while true again. I find just, I mean, this is effectively ends up being like a do while, but it doesn't really matter. There's probably a maximum identifier length in BASIC, but we're going to be kind of just, we're going to do this super simply, and we can like upgrade this in the future, but I want to just get a simple lexer done. We're just going to create a buffer which holds 256 characters. And then I think I can zero initialize it. I don't know that I have to, but I'm going to. So while true, we're gonna pop. Oh, pop char is not gonna work here because that requires -1. What if we had a pop char null? Yeah, null. Which instead of, this is awful. Instead of returning -1, it'll just return, it'll just return null. And really, this one's a little bit weird because if you get end of file, that's actually okay. I think. Yeah, I enjoy doing compiler dev. I have a compiler for a language called Stark that I was working on quite a bit and burned myself out of, but I like to just play around with writing different languages. I have thought about maybe at some point making this compile BASIC. I'm not sure how feasible that is with how the BASIC language works, but maybe that's something we can experiment with in the future. Yeah, I don't think that this is a good approach. So I think we can do int c, and then this guy can just go away. And then if c is end of file, we don't even need to make this optimization. If c is end of file, then we break. And then that's really it. If c is not, or I guess there's is not is ASCII, but there's is alnum. Why does this? Can I do man is alnum? Is alnum? Just tell me what like valid characters. Alphanumeric. Is alpha or is digit? Oh, is digit is a thing. Why is clang D being so mean? Is digit. Okay, now it's gonna show up. Fantastic. Is alnum, which go away. It says it's ASCII or it's alpha or it's digit. Is there anything else in here that we? What is punct? Is punct. Checks for any printable character which is not a space or an alphanumeric character. I don't know what valid identifiers in BASIC are, so we're just gonna say it's alphanumeric or it's an underscore. And if it's neither of these, so if it's neither of these, then we're gonna break. Otherwise, we're gonna say buff at size plus plus equals c, and we're gonna say size t is, or size is 0. And then here, if size is greater than 0, ooh, and actually something else we can do in C or with std.io is we can say, before we call this function, I want to say f unget. It's something like that. F unget c, and we can just basically push this character back into. Yeah, that's kind of how this is gonna work out. That's the pretty standard identifier situation, but I really mean more like, can it include like a dash or something? Which I would expect not, but older languages do a bunch of funky stuff. Okay, so we can just push this back into input. And what this will do is we don't need to do anything fancy in terms of like putting the first character into this array or anything like that. So, okay, if our size is greater than 0, then we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to say, what's it called? Stir dupe? What is stir dupa? I don't know. We're going to, oh, that's for like arena or something, I think. Yeah, we're going to duplicate the buffer. What is stir dupa? Apparently I've looked this up before. Stir dupa. Can you dupa? That's fun to say, but I have no idea what it means. But use, okay, yeah, okay. So I was maybe right? That's what a loca is. Oh. Yeah, no, I am right. I'm always right. Stir in dupe is actually probably a little bit better because we already know the size. Stir in dupe. That and its size. And then this returns our pointer, which we can use to return. Otherwise, we'll return null. And so this way, we only allocate if we have the right size, and if for whatever reason this this take ident function gets called when we don't have an identifier, we just ignore it, or we return null, and we will eventually like error here. So now let's, I guess, give it a try. Well, we don't actually create the token here. So this goes into out. We're going to say token. And we have kind is tk ident, and value dot ident is going to be ident. And in reality, this should not be a const char because we're going to need to free it. So let's do that. And same thing with this guy. Okay. So now that we have all of this stuff, we can actually just return true here. When is, I think we can just default return true because we'll return false earlier, or not even false, we'll return -1 earlier if we have an error. So I think that's all cool. Do we have anything else to add? I want to, just mainly for debugging purposes, I want to create just like a print. This is not Rust. What the hell am I doing? Actually, we can even put this in the Lexer. I want to create a print token. And we'll use the Lex prefix because why not? And all that this will do is take a token, and believe it or not, it's going to print it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to say switch token kind. And I think I can do that. Yeah. And we can fix the indentation here. This is, we don't even need to be super fancy about this. Let's take in the file. No, let's not. It doesn't matter. We can just printf. We're going to say clear. And we have to break. Yeah, I don't like and see that you have to manually break after everything. That's super annoying. Equal is that. Dim is going to be that. L parent is going to be that. Actually, I don't even want these new lines here. R parent is that, comma, def function go to ident is going to take the string, and that string, actually we don't even need these quotes. String is going to be token value ident. Colon is going to be colon. Numlit is going to be numlit. It's going to take a, what is it? It's an LF for a long float, which is token value number. Greater than is going to be that. Then end print and plus. Beautiful. C is such a very great language. Wow. Okay. Great. So now we can say done. First of all, we can debug. Done is, what is this? LD, I think, for done. And then we can say for size t equals 0, I is less than done or out count plus I. And then we can say print or lex print token out count I, or out items I. And then we can print f the new line. And then if we run this, then we get an error because for some reason it decided I wanted to use C string and not string.h. Okay, so we got ident let ident A equals B. Then we also got an equal sign. Oh, that's correct. And then we have, that's interesting. We're not doing anything about this one. That should be an unexpected, like here, we should say fprintf to standard error, unexpected character, this guy, which is C, and we'll return -1. That's super weird. Is it something to do with the order in which the arguments are? No, so this one just didn't pass main at all, but this one did. I'm really confused. We're just gonna like manually say what these things are because we don't actually have that many. Main C, main, or not main, it's gonna be, it's lexer.c. And technically this will also depend on the headers, but this is fine for now. Unexpected char 0. Cool. And we forgot the new line after that, so let's go back to the lexer. And handle that. Okay, if we start with or if we have a digit, like that, else if, and this is really is alpha, I guess. Else if is digit, then here, instead of taking an identifier, we're going to say take number, and this is going to return a double. And it can't really fail at this point, so I'm just going to pretend like it's definitely not going to fail. Can it fail? I'm gonna say no, because if we are taking integers, maybe also a decimal point, I don't know. For now, we're just gonna parse integers. If we're taking those and we reach something that's not an integer, then we're just gonna pretend like it's the start of the next token. So I think this will be fun. So it's gonna be tk numlit. And we're going to put num here, and this is going to be a number. Great. Now let's implement take number. So this is take number. And this is going to return a double. We don't need any of this. Out is going to be a double. Double. And it's going to start off at 0. And then we're going to get the character. If it's end of file, then we'll break. If it's not is digit, then we're going to break. And then we're going to say out times equals 10. Do we have LF or something? Because F is... Or I think it probably defaults to a double. And it'll be coerced either way, so it's fine. Plus C minus 0. Basically the same thing we did for line number, except now it like operates on a double. Did we not just make it manually? Oh, no, we wait, is $? The wrong thing? I think it might be. That are newer than target. God damn it. Name of all prerequisites. I fucking hate make files. There we go. Great. So we end up getting let A equals 0. And then unexpected character colon. So let's add colon, which is going to be that. Let's go ahead and implement all of our single characters. So lparen rparen comma. Greater than is going to be a little bit funky. Let me actually create a quick function that'll just do this part, because initializing tokens is kind of a pain. Wait, not even a... No, this can just be a macro, I guess. So let's say define token, takes variadics, and gives us this. And so now, instead of doing all this, we can just say token like that. Now that's a little bit cleaner. And it allows us to still use the, or still set the value. And I think we can even literally just do this and it's fine. So we'll do that. That seems cool. And that's definitely like easier to read, or it's less noise, I would say, at least. And I guess I could do this using a Vim macro, but we're almost done anyway, so it's fine. Okay, so less than if pop char input C, if C is an equal sign, then we're going to, I don't have a to-do macro yet. Let's go ahead and write one. To-do takes in a message. To-do. Like that. MSG. Like that. Bam. Now we can just say to do less than or equal. Cool. That is good. This is oh, well, this I meant the other one, but that's fine. We can go ahead and also do less than. In fact, we might as well just greater than or equal to as well. Or we might as well just implement these. It's easy enough. Otherwise, we need to what is it? Unget C on input and C. I guess C and input. We do actually need to be like, oops, I don't mean to take that. We're effectively peeking the character. Greater than, it's gonna be the same thing. And this is actually GTEE. Like that. Unexpected character plus. That is a true statement. Oh, because we don't have that. That's why I didn't see it. Plus. Cool. So it looks like we have... Oh, shit. Unexpected EOF. Right. We are not... Also, unexpected EOF does not have a new line after it. Here... okay, so our switch doesn't actually handle everything. That is true. Let's quickly do that. Greater than or equal. Less than or equal. And then let's see. So we're peeking character here, or we're actually popping the character here. I don't want to do that. Just kind of thinking about this. Oh wow, that even expanded the EOF. If we do get an EOF, we really just want to break. We still want to pop char in some of the other cases, but here we do just kind of want to break. Okay, so no more errors. It's a little bit weird because this one line seems to have parsed the entire file. So b equals 1, and then we get immediately the number literal for 20, which is a little bit weird. Let's go see what take num does, because we might accidentally be skipping that. Oop. Right, if it's not a digit, we actually want to put it back. Unget C, C input. I suspect we're doing the same thing up here. Yep. So here we want to do that. Like so. Cool. So now our first line, let A equals 0, B equals 1, is done. Let's do the main lexing loop really quickly. So that will be basically here. We're going to say for, not even for, we'll just say while true. Or I guess do while is kind of the best case here. So bool done is false. Well, actually, this doesn't even matter. While not done, result. We don't care about that. And then I want to print a second. We'll just do like that, or even 50i dash bam. Not even that. Yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna make sure that we can see exactly what's happening, and then if result is -1, then we break. Not even that. If result is less than or equal to 0, then we break. Right? Or I mean, obviously we still need this loop. Although at that point, while result is greater, while this guy is greater than 0. So we get the first string, or we get the first line correct. Then we get line number equals 60. That's not quite right. Oh, wait, I'm kind of blind. I forgot that we have all of this. Let A equals that. Cool. Oh, we can put the line number too. Line LU is going to be out.line. We can even be super fancy about this and put this in here. And we'll say out.line. Cool. You know what? Let's even be a little bit fancier. Just because this is a little bit hard to read, and say like 20 this guy and that guy. That is so fancy. Such cool output here. So line 10 has let A equal 0, colon B equal 1. Line 20 has if A is greater than 100, then end. 30 is print A. 40 is let T equals A plus B. 50 is that. And then 60 has go to 20 and then unexpected EOF, which is interesting. Although I guess, does this guy... No, this guy just pops if it's that. Where do we call, or do we have anywhere say unexpected EOF apart from this guy? No, we don't. So popchar is called in... Oh, it's called in here. Even this guy needs to do this. If we get an EOF in here, then we just break. Or not even that, we just return 0. Because that means that we are done with input. No, that's not even true. If we're on the first iteration and we get an EOF, that means we're done. Because that's like a trailing new line. Can I do F EOF? Return the EOF indicator for stream. I don't think this does what I want. If this returns 0. Return 0. No, it does. Well, this says line 0. That's a little bit wrong. This is from, I guess, this break. Do we have like F peak or something? I don't think we do. Let's say... Let's do this. Let's say bool first is false. It's a little bit gross, but we'll say that. Or we can even do this here. Yeah, so we'll say if EOF and first, then we're just going to return 0. Otherwise, we're going to unexpected EOF. Which is kind of the expected behavior. Although this also says unexpected EOF. Oh, first needs to be true, and then it needs to be set to false. Like that. Okay, perfect. Great, so we have Lex this. Let me remove the debug and the Lexer. Actually, we can, no, we don't need that anymore. So we get this, and we just get the Lex stuff. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up for today. and we'll come back to this at some point in the future. But before that, let's create a repository. We'll call this basic interpreter. I don't care about the description yet. And we can create the repository. Let's make dir test, and we'll move foo baz to test. And then let's get remote add origin this guy. And init. Yeah, that seems fine. And we can push origin main. Great. And now it's live at this repository. Not that guy, this guy. Right there. And that will be all for today. I'll probably add a README to this repository at some point soon, but yeah, we'll pick this up next time. But that is it for today. Thank you. Have a good one too. And I will see you next time.